for the event, for this conference that you have just concluded. Former Prime Minister of Korea, how very nice to have you here. And also, I'd like to greet ADB Vice President Ursula Prius, thank you. And we have together with us not only Secretary Atienza on the platform, but also our Presidential Advisor for Climate Change, Sunny Alvarez. I'm very glad that you have had this conference because we must not lose sight of the challenges we were already addressing before the onset of the global economic crisis. Climate change ranks high on the list of challenges that must not be forgotten in a rush to fix a world economy in crisis. The challenge of climate change and the devastating permanent impact it will have on economies around the world will still be with us long after the global economy returns to health. Indeed, we are all here today because climate change is here. Weather patterns are changing. Human activity has caused climate change. Fossil fuels, land use, solid waste. Climate change is already impacting adversely on many of the world's peoples. It will have a catastrophic effects if we don't take immediate and sufficient action to curb the industrial emissions and the forest loss that have been clearly identified as among its major causes. Though the Philippines produces only 1/3 of 1% of the global greenhouse gases, much lower in per capita income than those of industrialized nations, and we are not a climate maker, we are a climate taker. And that is our very special reason for being involved in climate change mitigation and adaptation. We suffer as much or even more than climate makers because we are an archipelago. From rising tides to changing weather to deforestation and pollution of air, sea, and land, the challenges of climate change to us are great. As a nation made up of over 7,000 islands, rising seas due to global warming take on a whole new meaning. Florida may lose some coastline, we lose a nation. Our response to this grave challenge may sound humorous, but our intent is deadly serious, and we must all work together to solve this problem. If we do it, we in Asia and the Pacific, and the world for that matter, hopefully, it will be one of the great achievements in our history. Every nation, developed or developing, must assume the mantle of leadership and work to address the challenge of climate change. But not only every nation, every person as well. Each and every person bears some responsibility for what we have done today and throughout history to diminish our environment. Obviously, some are more responsible than others, and some are more responsible today than yesterday. But all that apportionment of blame does nothing against a rising tide of global warming that will swamp our nation and many parts of our region and our world if we do not act with decisiveness and solidarity. We have a Green Philippines agenda, and it covers not only the work of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, but the work of other departments as well, especially the Department of Energy. Our Green Philippines agenda puts an emphasis on a sustainable economic model that brings economic opportunity and a concern for our environment. It is devoted to a sustainable economic model that allows for growth, job creation, and environmental stewardship. Too many nations, developed and developing, used to believe, and I hope they don't anymore, that the environment must be sacrificed at the altar of growth. We firmly believe otherwise. And because we are only doing our takeoff now, we have a unique opportunity to get it right from day one, to introduce new industries that are clean and profitable. This ranges from furniture made with environmental friendly practices and materials, to ecotourism, to developing a biofuels industry that helps our energy independence, creates jobs, and keeps our nation clean for future generations, but not at the expense of food supplies. Our Green Philippines includes reducing reliance on fossil fuels with our biofuels, wind and solar efforts, and geothermal programs, and other renewable energy programs. It is good for our economy and good for the health and well-being of our people to have a strong economy and a clean environment. I have two cabinet members here with me today because, as I said, mitigating and adapting to climate change are not just the work of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. Not even our whole green energy program is just under one department, because biofuels, renewable energy are under our Department of Energy. So much more, so many other aspects of climate change. That is why I have created a presidential task force on climate change, and the chair of the task force is no other than myself.